Hello there. So, we're at the Allegheny front again. My good friend Dave of Moods of Overland. Seems every time we get out to the Allegheny front together, there is snow. Currently just snowflakes, but might be able to catch them in the video here. We're out mapping a trail. Invited me on a camping trip, and we're kind of returning home from that while still Pennsylvania forest adventuring. So here we go. This kind of goes with that go get out Moods of Overland inspired trip, where instead of just going home, we're gonna go travel some more dirt roads. This one here is a drivable trail, so it's gonna be a little more fun than your typical forest road. With the recent rain, we're probably gonna have some mud puddles. Might even have a little bit of a washout because we did have some heavy rains. But yeah, here we go. For you state park adventurers who maybe haven't quite went into the realm of forest road driving, this is near to Black Moshannon State Park, and you can't really get lost on it. There's nothing really to fear if you have a 4x4 high clearance vehicle such as a SUV, a pickup truck. I wouldn't suggest taking a front wheel drive sedan on this, but if you're brave, you can probably make that. So you're just right around Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania here. So kind of a big town, not too far from State College. You can get on this road and feel like you're in the remote backcountry. There's no motorized camping in this area because it is too close to Black Moshannon State Park's campground. And there is also a group tenting site here. I don't believe I have been to it with my son's Cub Scout group, but I don't believe the channel has been to it. But Black Moshannon's a great state park. It's a wonderful place to be. And it's completely surrounded by Moshannon State Forest, so you can, dip your toes into this if you're new to it. Or, you're in the campground and you just need to get away from society. The Black Moshannon State Park is very popular. And on nice summer days, there's going to be a lot of people there. But you can disappear here and you probably won't see anybody. Obviously, I'm following Dave today, so that's why I see him. But yeah, you probably won't see anybody on this road. Purple Lizard map, Moshannon State Forest, be very helpful for you. I do not think you can currently order one. As a matter of fact, I know you can't currently order one. There's a slim chance that the Black Moshannon Park office has one for sale. Slim, I mention, because they are getting ready to do their latest edition of it. Mike's starting to do some edits on it, and it shouldn't be too long till that comes out. You can always get the Avenza app and download the map for a fee, or you can join the Hiker app and get all of the maps just for your subscription to that app. So that's always a good thing. That way you know where you are. If you're also new to using paper maps, it always is handy to have a digital reference, because sometimes you aren't going to be able to know where you're at if you're new to it, right? In a situation like this, you would use intersections, trail names, like hiking trail names or horseback trail names. As you get better, you can use the topographic lines to see that we're dropping into a dip, and you can see it goes back up out. So that'll help you figure out where you are, because when you're at the bottom of this, the topographic lines that you're looking at will be the same height, if that makes sense. If not, you'll understand if you ever notice it. You see the trees are starting to green up some. Definitely some green grass is growing already. That means we're about to come into the end of the fire ban. And I just want to reiterate that even though it looks wet, this stuff will go up in a flame in no time flat. So always be careful with your fires. Also, if you're driving forest roads like this and you happen to pull off into a grassy spot, take mind that your exhaust could also ignite a forest fire. So always be careful with heat sources. Like I said, this is an easy road. I like to call it the bumpy fun road. That's what my son always used to call it when he was younger. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to bounce around a little bit. You're not going to challenge your four-wheel drive vehicle to where you will need recovery gear or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure that even if you would happen to get stuck in one of the mud puddles here, using some rocks or tree branches will get you out pretty much immediately. It is bumpy, as I mentioned. This road crosses Strawband Road and goes from the muddy, rough type road to a shelf road. And what I mean by that is that you're going to have a pretty steep drop off to our left-hand side as we get out to the Allegheny front. And not ruling out any more snow, because the Allegheny front makes its own weather, and it's always interesting what it'll be when you get here. We woke up this morning at camp to seeing our breath as we were talking around, drinking coffee and whatnot. And that's interesting only because all week long it was in the upper 80s. So we got a cold front moving in, obviously, a cold front to the Allegheny front, and you're going to get some snow. So Black Moshannon State Park is kind of on like a plateau of the mountain. It's kind of a flat area, but as you'll see here shortly, it's a very steep area getting up to it. Whether you're on 322 driving in or taking one of the forest roads or one of the many backcountry roads to get to a forest road, it's steep here. If you're hauling a camper to Black Moshannon, there really isn't any way to get in without having to do a pretty steep climb. As I mentioned, there's no motorized camping, but there's some perfect opportunities for it. That would make a nice campsite.
Get a little bit of here or something.
There's the snowflakes. Today's April 19th, so well into spring, still getting some snowflakes. This road is definitely most fun in or after rain, because it will be a little bit of soupy mud. But any time that it's been dry for a while, it's just going to be dusty. This is a great road to use as a connection to a trip to Rothrock State Forest, which I believe is on our agenda today, to head over to Rothrock. Not 100% sure, but I think that's the plan. So we're kind of rising in elevation here. Oh, that was even a little slick there. Then we'll start the downward trek off the edge of the Allegheny Front. Purple Lizard map, of course, calls these 4x4 high clearance trails, and your DCNR map will call this a drivable trail. That basically just means that they're not going to maintain this road with gravel or any constant grading. So there will be, like, Mother Nature's opportunity to make it more rugged. We've had some storms roll through the area, so always have some way to clear the path in front of you, or get really good at backing up, because you won't always be able to turn around. Even you folks with the little Jeeps, sometimes you just can't turn around. But there we are. That ridge we're looking at, right out over top of Dave's truck, is an intermediate ridge. If you go to the next one, that's Rothrock State Forest. That's really how close these forests in central PA are. A lot of them, especially Bald Eagle and Rothrock, Tyodotin, Tioga, Sproul, Susquehannock, and Elk, you can literally connect right to them and not even travel on pavement. To go from Moshannon to Rothrock, you are going to have to travel on pavement, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because you just take the secondary roads, the township roads, and it wasn't too awful long ago, I'm going to say anywhere from 10 to 20 years ago, some of these roads, these back country roads, whatever you want to call them, township roads, they were still dirt. They've only recently been paved. So, you know, you're still overlanding, you're still forest driving. You are on pavement, but you're not on a highway or a double lane road even. Most of the roads are a lane and a half, just like the dirt roads. They don't have any yellow marker in the middle. But there, you can take a look out. Moshannon is an interesting place for if you're into drivable vistas, where you would drive up to the vista. There aren't many. There's like 2. But in the spring and late fall, all winter, it's just like a driving vista, because you can see out to all of the view, because the leaves aren't on the tree yet. And here's a very good note from your forest. It's your forest. Please don't litter. You can take the trash with you. State parks have dumpsters. Every gas station has a trash can. Take the trash, take the litter with you. And if you have the ability to, and you see some litter, pick it up and take it to a trash can. Everyone will thank you, including myself. But as you can see, as I mentioned, there's no leaves on the trees, and here comes some more snow. And if you look out there, that almost low-lying cloud, that's snow. Fog, if you want. It looks like fog, kind of. That's snow. So if I can get you out the window here, and if you look down there, that's pretty steep. It goes almost straight down, making this a shelf road. If you didn't quite understand what I meant at first, cameras never really show the steepness of anything, but that's pretty much straight down. This road's literally cut into the mountain. If you've never been on one of these, it can be daunting. And if you suffer from vertigo or things of that nature, it could make you dizzy. But just focus on the center of the road, and when you do want to look around, stop, possibly even put your vehicle in park to look around, because it can mess with you if you're not used to it. I often enjoy driving uphill, but you don't really get to see this view if you're driving uphill, because you have to look over your shoulder to see it. And I'm sure it's probably not coming in too great on camera, but trust me, you get here, it's a nice view to look out, see the other ridges. You can see pretty easily right here. If you didn't realize this, in spring you get all the same colors as fall, because those trees haven't turned green yet. Their buds are the color that they'll be in fall when they start to change color again. It's one of those things where you think a lot of people might know that, but a lot of people don't realize it. They don't take the time to look around. Like there, you can see some of the oranges, some of the reds, some of the yellows, and some of the stuff's already green. A lot of times south-facing slopes, south-facing slopes, if I can speak, get full sun all day, so a lot of them will be more green than a north-facing slope that's not getting the sun. Because without giving you a science lesson, you know that's how they turn green. But yeah, this is a fun road. It's one of my favorites in the area. Did a trail ride here not too awful long ago, and that would have been my third one that I led here. If you're in the Facebook group, always keep an eye out for events and maybe join up and come along. I try to make them so that anybody can come with any vehicle, and if we do a section where there's a drivable trail, I can always give you a runaround so that you don't have to do it if you don't have a vehicle capable, don't want to risk getting pinstripes. Can always fix you up with some other way to get through the forest. I was gonna just make a short video, but at this point we're almost the whole way down the road, so we'll just continue to drive the road. We're wandering and rambling again, except this time we're not hiking, we're driving. And I like to call drivable trails hiking with your truck. And I don't really like the term overland because it often leads to debate with people that are, I don't even know what to call it anymore. They have a very specific thing that overland means to them. So we'll just call the overlanding stuff where you're taking your vehicle and going camping on back forest roads off pavement. We'll just call it backpacking with your truck. Backpacking with your vehicle. And the neat thing about backpacking and motorized camping is you can use your vehicle to get to somewhere where you otherwise might not be able to hike to because it's just too far of a distance. And then you can hike from your campsite and come right back, and you don't even have to worry about being out in the world. And there we are, the end of Doug Road in outside of Black Moshannon State Park in Moshannon State Forest. All right, thanks for coming along, and I hope to catch you at the edge of the forest.